Welcome back, everybody. Today we're in for another special treat. We have Kerrang magazine. This issue is issue number 2 from August of 1981. We're digging into the trenches, into the archives. We're opening up the vaults. We already gave you the rare issue number 1 with Angus Young on the cover. I was able to locate and find issue number 2 with the legendary Richie Blackmore. Again, we're going to go through these magazines page by page. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell. Any questions, comments, or feedback, or requests, leave them below. Welcome to KGTR. I'm Tony. I give you free guitar tones, free guitar lessons. I give you vintage magazine reviews, concert reviews, and guitar tones for free. All I ask is that you just give me your time, click subscribe, and we're going to have a lot of fun giving you the best of 80s heavy metal. There's no other channel like mine. I'm going to ensure that there's no other...
Well, isn't that special?
I'm just joking. Let's have some fun, alright? We got a special issue. This is Kerrang, issue number 2, August 1981. Again, we're going to go page by page, look at the pictures, goof on whatever's out there, look at the fashion, look at the bands, see who's popular back in August of 1981. Alright, let's go ahead and begin. Look at this beautiful cover. This magazine is from the UK, competing with magazines like Cream, Circus, Imperator. So here we have Kerrang, and in color we got Rainbow, Black Sabbath. Remember the last issue? It would just say Sabbath, Halen, but here we go. We got Black Sabbath, Motorhead, Van Halen. All right, we got Van Halen for August of 1981. Ozzy Osbourne, making some Randy Rhoads in here. Girl School, Cozy Pal. I never heard of Cozy Pal, but with the beauty of the internet, just go to YouTube and you can type in anything, anybody, and you should be able to find it. So someone should look up Cozy Pal 1981 heavy metal and see what comes up. And we'll get to see who Cozy Pal is. Alright, we got Judas Priest, Triumph. We love Rick Emmett and Triumph. Crocus. I didn't care for Crocus, but now I love Crocus. I have all their albums, and Crocus is good. Samson. I remember the name Samson. I don't think I've ever heard any songs from Samson. Let me know if you heard of Samson. And again, the beauty about these magazines, when we go over the years, you're going to start to see names repeat because they're still plugging away and doing strong, getting more successful. And you're going to start seeing newer bands because the other bands disappeared. They fell off, being less successful. Like, I don't think we're ever going to hear about Samson anymore, right? Praying Mantis. That sounds cool, right? So maybe they were big or trying to get big for like a year, but the name held them back, the band cohesion held them back, or their music sucked. Who knows? But a lot of these bands didn't make it. You got Raven, Moore, and A to Z. Alright? And then we got Rainbow Family Tree, Sam's discography, Loverboy. We loved Loverboy, Def Leppard, Pink Floyd, and Aragorn. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up this magazine. And this is what the music scene looked like in August of 1981, according to Kerrang. Alright, so we got May. It's actually Mayhem. Look, if I turn the page, Mayhem. So pretty much it's like letters to the editor, splits and whispers. So they're telling you here, they're gossiping here about certain bands. Some are splitting up, some are joining other bands, and whatnot. So these are the splits and whispers. Who's splitting up, who's joining who, and so on. They're whispering. Look, greetings, Kerrangatangs, and welcome to issue 2 of the world's loudest magazine. And we really are back by public demand. Because issue number 1 sold out within days of hitting the shelves. Remember, we covered that already with Angus Young. That was issue number 1. Alright, this is really small print, so if you want me to read this, I can. But pretty much they're tooting their own horn, and they're celebrating the success of Kerrang magazine. Alright, so what's next? Alright, where are they now? So, what's this, the Beatles? I don't know who that is. Let's have a look. Recognize. I don't know who that is. So I don't know who that is. Alright, so tour news. These are all the bands that were touring. You got AC/DC, you got Ozzy Osbourne here. Let's have a look at this one. See what, This is August of 81. Randy's still alive. Let's see what he was doing in 81. Let's have a look. Watch. Oops. So there he is. New album will be called Diary of a Madman. So this is about the Blizzard of Oz. And they're already talking about the new album is going to be called Diary of a Madman, which means it's about to be released. Isn't that cool? I love it. I love going back in time. Play loud. Recommend new singles and albums. So here they're recommending the latest bands, singles, and albums right here. Look, Black Sabbath and Motorhead with guest Triumph, Yards, Major Band. Wow. Kerrang, Straight Music and Camouflage present Heavy Metal Holocaust. Black Sabbath, Motorhead with guest Triumph, Yards. Port Mail. Wow, look at this. Saturday, August 1st at 1:30. Tickets. So was this a concert? This would have been a great concert. Look at this. So the Yards is opening up for Triumph, who opened up for Motorhead, who opened up for Black Sabbath. If this is a concert, that would have been awesome. Girls are pulling their clothes off in the middle of the set. Loverboy. I like Loverboy. I mentioned this in one of the other issues. Loverboy looked corny, but they had some pretty good hits in the early 80s. But I have their catalog, and they got some good tracks. Loverboy's good, so give them a listen to. They got their pop hits, but it was a good band, good singer, but just the look wasn't there for them. If they had a different look, they probably would have sold more or been more popular. But they looked they weren't heavy. They were wearing like red leather. I think they were wearing like red leather, black and red leather. It just didn't go well with guys, so that's just my opinion. They could have been bigger if they changed their image, but the music was good. Alright, look at Pat Benatar again. This is like the third issue now. This is an awesome album, Precious Time. So they love Pat Benatar. This magazine, Kerrang, loves Pat Benatar. Rainbow, look. Rainbow. Look at that beautiful headstock here. And we all know these outfits. Who copied who? Yngwie Malmsteen was a huge fan. Yngwie Malmsteen was 18 years old in 1981. Born in 63. And the reason why I'm mentioning Yngwie is because in 1981, he's still in Sweden. And he's emulating Uli Roth and Richie Blackmore. Those are his influences right now. Apart from Bach and all that stuff. But he loved Richie Blackmore and Uli Roth. Alright, so here, look at Richie Blackmore with the Stratocaster. And kudos to Yngwie. Even though he played nothing like Richie Blackmore, he liked Richie Blackmore, which is great. So there's Rainbow. I love Joe Lynn Turner. Joe Lynn Turner was good. He had good stage presence. What was that song called? Stone Cold. That was probably like the biggest hit I remember being played on YouTube, on MTV. Stone Cold. It had a great solo too. I always wanted to get that guitar tone of Stone Cold. There's a guitar solo on Stone Cold. It's a really good guitar tone. I think it has a flanger to it. It's got a flanger tone to it. It's got a very dialed down flanger. So I'm going to try to dial in that tone for Stone Cold. But that's a great band. Rainbow, more Rainbow right there. Richie Blackmore. Another Scorcher from the Cult. Blue Oyster Cult. Fire of Unknown Origin. Again, we're just going through this magazine page by page. And want me to delve into anything, let me know. Def Leppard, Out of Quarantine. The original NWOBHM band have come roaring back amidst Jeff Guilty Martin. Notice who's... Oh, there he is right there. That's... I forgot his name already. Oh, what's his name? The singer. But this band was good. They got rid of one of these guitar players, and they put in Phil Collins. So this is before Phil Collins. I think they blew up when Phil Collins came into the band. Alright, early Def Leppard right there. They're about to break it. They're about to break big. But they made a lineup change, and Pyromania put them on the map. Alright, so here's more on the People Believe What They Read. That's why we got the cans at reading. Rick Savage. So here's early, look, leather. That didn't suit them either. But Def Leppard, they kicked ass. They still kicked ass. Alright, look at this lineup. Monsters of Rock in 1981. You have, and more. So you're going to have some band opening up for Blackfoot, then Slade, Blue Oyster Cult, Whitesnake, and then AC/DC as the headliner at Donington Park, Saturday, 22nd. Now, I wonder if this show was filmed. So someone may be able to look up Donington Park, August of 1981. You'll see these bands. I don't know if there's footage, but wouldn't that be great if there was footage? That's why you can always go back in hindsight. Wouldn't it have been great? And this is my idea. Let's say you get signed by a record contract, you're in the studio recording your music, laying down your tracks. Let them engineer it, all that crap. But you bring in your own damn camera and record that damn recording session. You record all the cut, take 2, cut, take 4, record it. Just record it nonstop. So you have your own copy that belongs to you. So your band just bands, you break up, your band explodes. Yeah, there's still the masters and the audio, but to have the actual video footage and then sync it with the audio, how awesome would that be to have video footage of you in the studio making errors and going like the Beatles, but have it on 24/7. I always say that would have been great to have a video of the entire recording process of Van Halen 1. Right, they got those images, right, of in the studio. He's wearing that yellow shirt, whatever. Then he's got the bomb where his Echoplex is. Imagine there was a video camera there recording the damn. They need to record. You guys need to record yourselves at all times. Always record yourselves, okay? Just record yourselves. Even if you're practicing, rehearsing, just record yourself. It's fun. All right. I live for the weekend. All right. Triumph. Triumph was good. They were also on MTV. MTV, every Saturday weekend, they would have the Friday night concert or the weekend concert. I think it was probably Friday nights. But they have a Friday night weekend concert. And you have Triumph, I saw on MTV. And I was exposed to Triumph. Ozzy Osbourne on MTV. Rainbow Loudness was on MTV. All these wonderful concerts. Pat Benatar. MTV was awesome. Cozy Powell. So there's Cozy Powell. Do they look heavy metal to you? They did advertise Pat Benatar, but here they're advertising Cozy Powell. So who knows? Right? We're almost done here. Aragorn. The hills are alive with the sound of Aragorn. Now someone needs to look up Aragorn on YouTube and see what they sound like. Black Sabbath discography. So here's all their albums to date. Black Sabbath. The fan club directory. All right. So if you want to learn about your favorite bands, you would send a postcard or letter to the fan club, and then you can, send them money and you get merchandise. Buttons, posters, whatever. Pins. Samson. Here's that band, Samson. Remember I mentioned Samson? All right, this is stupid right here. Why are you wearing a mask? But the band Samson, someone should look them up and see if they're good or not. Girls School. Girls School, they were still around during the 80s, so they were low-key, but they were still around. Armed and Ready. Jeff Bartons with more young bloods who are hot to trot. And these bands are Wrathchild. These bands are ready to get signed or tour. Anvil. I remember these names. Demon Pact. You got bands Demon Pact, Anvil, and Wrathchild. You got Blitzkrieg, Towering Cinematic, Shell Shock. See, these bands never made it. They never had a chance. It was overly saturated in the early 80s. You either had it or you didn't. Black Sabbath. Again, this would have been a great poster had I not tore it up, but there it is. Right, Strictly for Connoisseurs, Blue Cheer, Grand Funk, Mr. Big. So here's Mr. Big, not the Mr. Big with Paul Gilbert. And then Stack Waddy and Silverhead. Right, look at Motorhead right there. And there's look at Van Halen. So now they're covering Van Halen. Look, Van Halen. One look at Van Halen. 1981, they're at the top of their game. That's during the Mean Street era. So this is the Rainbow Family Tree. So what that is pretty much, it's like a tree. If you played in this band, you played from this band who was related to that band. This band member quit, went to this band, and so on. And that's how you're related. Right, Status Quo, they're pretty good. I learned about Status Quo through Live Aid. And you got Crocus, they got pretty big around 83. Not 81, but around 83. They started being more commercial. All right, Judas Priest. Look at this. This is what? KK Downing? Yeah, this is KK Downing. And there he is right there. Then Lizzie, Ian Hunter, Q-Tips. So look at that. There's a concert right there. Isn't that pretty cool? Beyond the Wall, a Pink Floyd discography by Hugh Fielder. So this is pretty much a discography of all the records to date. Like a little tribute to Pink Floyd. Remember Diamond Head in the earlier issues? You want to buy their merchandise of Diamond Head? You can do it right there. Alright. Again, these are more from the discography of the Pink Floyd. More merchandise. We Hear It Loud. Kerrang. More. So there's a band called More. That's stupid. That's why they never had a chance. Have to go see the band. More. Raven. It's a cool name, but a three-piece band pretty much didn't have a chance. Unless you were Rush or Triumph or Stray Cats. You better be damn good. Alright. Praying Man. I'm sorry, but they don't have a chance. Look, they don't have the look. I don't know how they sound like. And if this is them, look. These boots. Alright. These boots. This looks gay right here. Look. These boots. Is this a costume or what? Who dressed like this in 1981? That's like they don't know what they want to be. Space Age. What's this? Bicentennial? Are they on Mars? What is this? Praying Mantis. Someone should look at Praying Mantis though. Right. Crosswords right there. More answers for the crosswords. More advertisements here. Official merchandise. Rock Store. Remember, this is from the UK. Blaze Kerrang number 3 is out on August 20th. So they're already pushing August 20th issue. Letters to the editor right here. Here we go. We're almost done with this issue. Again, more pen pals. Letters to the editor. Wine with Ozzy. Right there. And lastly, there's the back cover of the Kerrang issue. Ozzy Osbourne. This is with Randy Rhoads. So somewhere on his right or his left is Randy Rhoads. Isn't that cool? Just to think back, Randy was alive. Right. So that was issue number 2, August 1981 of Kerrang. Let me know your thoughts on this magazine. Let me know if you have this issue. Do you remember this issue? Do you remember the magazine? All right. I'm Tony. Thanks for joining me here at KGTR, bringing you the best of 80s heavy metal. Thank you for joining me and going over these rare vintage metal magazines, either guitar magazines, rock magazines, whatever. If I have it, I'll share it with you. And if you want something, I'll try and get it to you. All right. Click subscribe, hit that notification bell, and give me your thoughts on Kerrang. Do you like Kerrang? You want more Hit Parader? You want more guitar magazine reviews? Let me know.
Well,
Otherwise, you're going to get
special.
what's coming here. And you're going to get more Kerrang. Alright, thanks everybody. I'm Tony. I'll see you all in the next video.